Good afternoon, everyone. My name is T. Welcome to another episode of TokYo-Yo Reviews. Sorry I've been so late. I've been super busy with stuff. I haven't been able to get anything done for the channel, so here we go. First video in like a week. And I know it's in a new place. Again, I wasn't able to use the normal location, so hopefully this will be okay. Sorry, the angle's a bit weird too. We'll get through it together. So anyway, thanks for all the likes, comments, and subscriptions. I do want to announce that I'm going to have a giveaway once I hit 500 subscribers. I have no idea what I'm going to give away yet. We'll just have to see how it goes. Yeah, guys, you've gotten me this far. Thanks so much for getting me to almost 400. Let's see if we can hit 500. Anyway, without further ado, today we're going to be looking at a yo-yo I've been promising for a while on my Instagram. It's been voted for by many different people, so today we're going to be looking at the Magic Yo-Yo Stealth. So does this yo-yo have a stealthy approach to bimetals, or is it just better off flying below the radar? So the Magic Yo-Yo Stealth has a very nice, smooth, rounded H shape. You have the bimetal rims here, adding some extra weight, and these are actually an extra piece. You can see them going to the inside of the cup here, so that's not just a ring that's overlaid, that's actually part of the yo-yo itself. The cup you're going to see is a very nice bowl. No dimple or anything, but it is perfectly concaved, so that's good for your finger spins. You also have the laser engraving of Stealth and then M04 at the bottom. Actually 7075 aluminum here, very smoothed off, and with the stainless steel rims. The feel is quite comfortable. I guess you could say ergonomic. There's some very slight cuts in here, but none of them protrude or anything. They're extremely smooth. It does feel very nice to hold, although it is a little sharp on catches, and I'll explain that in a little bit. And the look is extremely stylish. There's a lot of new colors for this, which I'll talk about, but it's got a very nice design. The rims are very shiny here, very polished. I feel it has a very nice engraving, especially over the one it had before. And this kind of had a lot of hype from Magic Yo-Yo and from the community when it first came out. I feel like a lot of people were talking about it, so I kind of got one as soon as I could. I wasn't sure if this was going to be in limited quantities like the Magical. Also, if you saw pictures of this on Instagram before it came out, it had a very different graphic. I think it had some kind of like aircraft on it or something. It was kind of trying to evoke that, stealth aircraft look. And I'm very glad they scrapped that. One, because it looked kind of funky. It also got in the way of finger spins probably with the laser engraving that was actually on the bowl, and as you can see, this one is completely free of engravings, so that really does help with finger spins. This yo-yo has gotten a lot of attention on Reddit and other yo-yo communities just because for its price it's a very solid performer. They recently had some more colorways released because of that, but the popularity of this yo-yo seemed solid from the beginning, and it just kind of continues. So as I mentioned, this does have a bit of a sharp edge feel to it. The rim here is not 100% smooth. Where the rim sort of goes around here, it's a little bit sharp, so it can sometimes feel a little uncomfortable on some catches. That's not really a problem once you get used to it. And actually I found that once I came back to it after I was a little more skillful, it's actually been a lot better than it was when I first got it. I love the bowl shape. It's very smooth, sort of like the Horizon, which does mean that you can finger spin it pretty easily if you're good at finger spinning yo-yos with bowls. I'm not particularly good at that. I need some kind of either a flat cup or a dimple. I'm not good at the bowl shaped yo-yos, so if that's something that you're good at, it's not going to be a problem, but for me it's a little bit of a difficult thing to do. It's very solid on the string. It's very stable. It moves quite well because of the rounded shape. It's very comfortable to catch, as I said, once you get used to the shape. The spin time is very nice because of the bimetal rims. That helps it spin a little bit longer, but it also doesn't feel like it's too heavy. That's kind of the advantage of the bimetal, is that you're able to throw the weight around and get a little bit more variety, but also maintain that kind of rim weight with a more classic shape. And actually you're seeing a lot of bimetals with this shape. I think like the Space Cadet and other yo-yos like that really tend to like this shape because it's comfortable, but it also allows a lot of rim weight. One thing about the playability, as I mentioned, this doesn't really feel like a 7075 at first. When you get something like a Top Deck or a Mantis, when you get a yo-yo with that kind of metal, you usually feel the difference right away. I didn't feel it so much with this one. I'm not sure what it is. Like, I feel like they could have gotten this design without using 7075, and I'm not sure what the design choice behind that was. It's supposed to be a more tough metal, so perhaps that was the reason behind it. But another thing about 7075 that I have found with some of my other yo-yos, they don't grind as well because of the finish. This one grinds extremely well. It finger grinds very, very nicely. I was actually shocked. When I first got it, I hadn't really gotten good at finger grinds, but recently after I feel like I've gotten a lot better at them, this really finger grinds really well, and it doesn't tilt at all. It's very, very, very forgiving with finger grinds. And there's a lot of these new ones now with some very, very nice colors. And that's one thing I think that's cool about Magic Yo-Yo, is that they do re-releases of some of their yo-yos, but their colorways are always really cool when they re-release. I feel like some companies, when they re-release yo-yos and they do new colorways, they're not really too crazy different, like new solid colors and things like that. But like one of the new ones of this is like a green and black, and another one's like a polished silver. Like, they're extremely different. They look like different yo-yos, which I think is really cool about Magic Yo-Yo. When they re-release a yo-yo, the look is completely different. But all around, yeah, I really like the Stealth. When I first got it, I wasn't too hot on it. I got it right around the same time I got the Magical, so I enjoyed the Magical quite a lot, as I mentioned in the review. And I feel like the Stealth might have kind of stolen the Magical's thunder a little bit, and now I kind of see why. It is a very, very solid performer, especially for the price, but I feel like it is a really good all-rounder. I think it fits a lot of styles, and I think it does a lot of things really well without particularly excelling in any range. Which I think is actually a good thing about a lot of Magic Yo-Yos, is that they do everything really competently. You're very rarely going to get a Magic Yo-Yo that doesn't do something well. Some of the Magic Yo-Yos are designed more for one thing, like the Skyva is designed, you know, first and foremost for finger spins, but it does other stuff well too. Or the Katana is designed purely for competition, but it also does other, stuff as well. Which I know most modern yo-yos can do pretty much everything, but it's nice to know that you're going to get something reliable, that you're not going to have to worry about what it can't do well, if that makes sense. And now let's get into pros and cons of the Stealth. It's a great shape once you get used to it. It's very comfortable once you get used to how sharp these little edges can be here. And actually holding it in the hand is very nice. It feels a little strange to my hand because I've got pretty big hands, but it does fit just fine. 7075 plus stainless steel is pretty cool. As I said, I didn't know it was 7075 at first, but I think a more experienced thrower who got it might have noticed that off the bat. Makes for a very interesting weight distribution. And I think the Stealth is quite flashy, even this one, which is the OG model. The new ones all have very interesting colorways, but this is the original, and I think it still holds up totally cool. It looks really nice. And like I said, for being a 7075, it grinds really well. The material is really smooth and feels very good to hold. I don't have many cons for this. I suppose if you wanted to pick on it, you could say that it's kind of playing it safe. It's not anything too crazy in the design department, but I do feel like for its price, it's extremely reliable. There's not really much wrong with this yo-yo. I think it's really cool. I think it does everything really well. One thing I should mention too, actually, when I was filming this review, you can see this little rub here. I did throw it into the concrete, and it's still dead smooth, which is pretty nice, actually. And finally, before I wrap up the review, I'm going to have a little segment at the end here called Who's It For? I think this yo-yo is for a person who wants to try a bimetal, who wants to see what the 7075 hype is all about, and who maybe wants to get their bowl finger spins on. And it's not going to break the bank. A lot of 7075 throws and a lot of bimetals are going to get you up over $100 or more. I think this is a really good entry-level bimetal, and actually I think this could carry you just as far as you want it to go. You're not going to run into any limitations with this thing. It's going to be able to pretty much do whatever you need it to do. Anyway guys, that's the Magic Yo-Yo Stealth. Thanks for watching today. Thanks for liking, commenting, subscribing. Sorry about the wait. I'll try to be more on schedule from now on. But take care, have a nice day, and sayonara.